Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully we're live everywhere today. While the cat's away, the safari crew are in the house. So the cat being Sarah. Sarah is on hollybobs. Apparently she has thunderstorms where she is, but according to those in the UK, it's freezing cold there, so she's more than likely got warmer weather. And it does look like I've managed to go live both in Facebook and YouTube. So, yay! Right. So, we're having trouble streaming to your destination. Oh, that would be Facebook. Ah, rats. Okay. So, remove that. Rats. Okay. I will have to, yes. Okay, whatever. Good evening, Carol Ann. Hello, hello. 2 people have found me, so it looks like it has not worked on Facebook. I don't know what I did wrong. I will have to speak to Mr. G because I set this up while he's on hollybobs, and I did do a yes, I'm going to just put a comment under my, where did I put it? Fun. No, cancel that. Sorry, I'm just doing quick admin. Thank you, Carol Ann. I appreciate it. Thank you. I see you have put the YouTube link. Yes, why not Wednesday is not working. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so hopefully everybody will come find me over in YouTube. So I'm just wiggling my fingers to prove that I'm still alive. Hello, Steph. Thank you, Carol Ann. Yes, I do appreciate that. Yes, I was trying to do that. I'm trying to multitask here. But anyway, thank you for finding me over here. Yes, I don't know what I do wrong over on Facebook. For some reason, it doesn't like how I set things up. I don't have the right code. I should be able to just go in backstage and set it up. But, you know, technology is not always our friend. So I have colored up my steampunk safari crew. Hello, Cheryl. Thank you for finding us. You made pink elephants. Yes, I know. It's so cool. You can have, I do like to do pink elephants with my elephant too. I have done that and put it on a friend's birthday card. So what have I got on my desk today? I have got the new, well, they're new to me. They're not new to Funky Fossil. The new trio by Wow that Sarah has specially made up for her. And this came out with that lovely set with all the Greek gorgeous papers and dyes and things. And so this one is called Santorini Blue, Tuscan Terracotta, and Olive Grove. So these are the colors that I have actually used on the die cut over here, which is this one. So it is called Celebrate. It says happy birthday. There is a die that says Celebrate, so don't get confused. I've just received it. So what I thought I would do is show you guys how I color the die with the embossing powders, because I do love the thickness that it gives and the shimmer that it gives. It gives somehow the die cut just a nice quality. I really like the finish that you can get using the embossing powders on this. Yes, they are absolutely gorgeous colors, Carol Ann. So this is the die that I have used. Let me just pop that away. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is show you guys. I have prepared a whole lot of stuff so that you don't, as in I've done the coloring in, I have die cut a whole lot of things. what started today's idea was I bought a pack of ready-made cards. These are what I can get here in Berlin. They 6x6, basically 16 centimeters by 16 centimeters, 6x6 cards, and they come with the matching envelopes. So that's what made me think that I would play around with cards tonight. And so I had colored these guys up to match essentially these colors. So the olive green doesn't really go with the colors that I've used on the jackets, etc., but it does go with the yellow that I have put there. So I'm not entirely sure if I will be using that. The gorgeous what's it called now? Santorini blue goes really well with the coloring there, and the Tuscan terracotta. So I will definitely be using these two colors with my characters. I have also die cut them in black so that I can pop. So basically this was white and I embossed it, and look how fabulous that looks on its backdrop. It also works, excuse me, on white. So it depends on what it is that you are doing. It works just as well on white. And so, you know, it depends on what you're wanting to pop your colors off. So I have that. And let's just stack these up here because, you know, I live in a Bermuda Triangle of my own creation. I'm going to put them just off screen. The other thing I have got ready, I know, I mean, I'm from Africa. I know that these leaves and things, it's not really our jungly, we don't really have these leaves in our jungles. Well, we don't really have jungles. It would look lovely on vellum as well. Yes, absolutely. Hello, Sarah. You couldn't get to YouTube via the link? Ah, good grief. Okay, well, I tried. It would seem that technology is definitely against me tonight. Yes, so there are two links there. The link that YouTube gave me, and then the link that Carol Ann kindly put below that post. So I have die cut these characters. Well, let's be honest. These are not your typical real African characters, are they? They are completely make-believe. So why can't we put them in a make-believe jungle? So I have die cut these, and I'm going to put the link. Let me just find Tropical Leaf Dyes, control copy. I'm going to put the link in the chat for everybody. So you can find this leaf dye. Then I have also got this beautiful wreath, which is so versatile. It can be used throughout the year. Like now I'm going to use it as a jungle background for my characters. But I think coming up with Christmas, it will also be amazing. So I'm going to pop that jungle leaf into the chat as well. And so you have the direct links to those. So those are the two. Oh, and there's the happy birthday. Let me put the happy birthday link in as well. If you were lucky enough to get it free in January, because Sarah was giving those away, but they are available to purchase if you didn't get one. So those are the three dies that I have got on my desk. So I'm just going to pile those up over here. And I'm going to start by showing you how I colored the die cut. So here I have another one, and I just need my pokey tool to get rid of the extra bits that I didn't take out earlier. So there we go. Right, let's get everything out of the way. Let's stack everything up. You know, the famous push back and clear. So I am going to use a silicone mat. gravity sucks. Something fell behind me. I'm not sure what it was. So I'm going to use a silicone mat to use my embossing dabber on. So if you don't have the dabber, by all means, you could use the ink pad. So you could actually just, I have a different ink pad. I have the Emboss It clear. You could just, squish all over with that. It's just, I know this one is particularly juicy, and I'm going to go with another blue just because I think the blue is what I'm going to use tonight. So I've decided that an extra blue would be good. I don't know how many cards I will actually get to make tonight. We will just see how it goes over the next hour also. Is the dabber on Funky Fossil? No, it's not. I don't know what. I have not actually looked to see what the shop has in the way of mediums. Let me just have a quick look. Mediums. And we have all sorts of other things. We have paint and so on. Let me just do a quick search. Let me just do that quickly. Let's just see. Emboss ink. We have Wow. So we have the Wow Clear embossing powder. So that I can put for you in the chat. So she has, and in fact, I'll do two. Let's do that. So let's put that in the chat. This is Ranger. So this is Ranger. I know that Sarah does stock some Ranger products, but she doesn't have that. So I will show you the dabber, and then I will do it with, I don't have the Wow embossing stamp pad, but I'll show you what I've got. And I'm just using the silicone mat because it's easy to clean up, because the embossing inks are quite sticky. They're full of glycerine, and so I just find it much easier to clean up on either a craft mat, or I guess if you have the glass. I don't have the glass mat. This would work just as well. Now I need a pair of tweezers. So I've got this really skinny pair of tweezers because I want as little contact with the embossing ink as possible. And now, before I put that down, I'm just going to clean away the excess here. And so let's just clean this away. Clean as you go. It's definitely much easier. Then you can just tip the whole bottle out. It really doesn't matter. It's like glitter. You pour it back into the pot anyway. And I have already folded. This is just a scrap piece of paper from something that I printed and then didn't need everything. Now I did miss. Okay, it didn't get everywhere. Okay, perfect. So now I have just an offcut from a box that I'm going to pop that onto to be able to heat gun it. And I do have one of those skinny heat guns that are kind of noisy. Mine only has one speed. I know you get them in different speeds, but I only have the one speed. And what I'm going to do is, the reason for this piece of cardboard is paper or cardstock, when you heat it, warps. And so, of course, once it's been cut out, it warps even more. And then on top of that, if I put it on a normal piece of cardstock, that would also warp. So the reason for the piece of box is just so that I can hold the embossing, well, the object with the embossing powder on it, onto the cardboard, and then when I heat gun it, it won't warp. So this heat tool gets just as hot as the long skinny one, It's just, it disperses the heat. So what happens is you just have to be a little bit more patient, and you can actually see it going already. So although people say you need the other embossing tool, I work just as well with this one. I'm just too lazy to get the other one out and plug it in, to be honest. And it's noisy. So this is how I emboss on something skinny that would warp. And of course, this last little bit where my tweezer is. So now when I remove the tweezer, just checking sure that I've got everywhere. Just going to let that cool for a second. When I remove the tweezer, there is going to be a tiny little bit there that needs a bit more embossing powder. So what I'm going to do is just slide my tweezer underneath, because now it's gone and attached itself over there. Sometimes what happens is a little bit of the embossing gets underneath, so you just have to slide. There we go. Slide your tool underneath. Now that it's cool, I can touch it, and I'm going to just add a little bit. So this same process would happen whether I was using the ink pad or the embossing dabber. So I'm just going to put a little bit more on there. Pop that back in here. And we're good to go. So always close it, because, you know, no matter how careful you think you are, you always have an accident. So now I don't need to actually use the tweezers. I can just heat where I have touched up. If you want it really, really thick, you can do quite a few layers. I have done that before. Oh dear. Yes, Sarah's got I'm very sorry. Sarah got a new heat gun and she plugged it in and it just smoked. It didn't actually do anything. It's a smoking gun. So now that is ready to go. I will show you exactly the same. I can only this time I have to use black because now I've run out of white die cuts. So I'm going to use the black, and it really doesn't matter. What I do need to do is just make sure that I don't have a whole lot of embossing powder on my silicone mat. Right, because I don't want that sticking to my ink pad. And what I'm going to do is just tap. Oops, bit my finger. So I'm just going to use the ink pad. So you could use the Wow that Sarah has in her shop. And now I'm going to use my tweezers just to hold it still. So I'm literally just stamping the ink pad onto that like so. And I'm going to try and grab it in the same place just because that I know works for me. And you can just hold it in an angle and see if you've got it everywhere. That looks nice and shiny. And pop it on here, and away we go again. So pull it out of the powder. There you go. So you'll see it works just as well on black as it does on white cardstock. I'm going to put it on there. I mean, you could even die cut blue. It's just this is what I had to hand when I was prepping today. So this is, if you get any gaps and you got blue cardstock, well, it's a little less obvious. But the only thing is that this embossing powder has a lovely sheen to it. So you don't want to lose the sheen. So I'm just closing that. Right, here we go. Same thing, just getting it onto there. Grab it on both sides. And off we go. So you can see I'm holding it quite close and it's already melting. I think the piece of cardboard helps to heat up both sides of the paper so that it gets really nice and hot and then embosses really quickly. Basically, embossing powder is tiny little granules of plastic. That's what it is. You're melting plastic, really. And I'll have to do the same little touch up in this zone there. Just let it cool. And again, just slide something underneath. There we go. Okay. If you touch it and it comes off because it's still hot and sticky, well, you just let it cool. I'm going to use the dabber because, mind you, know, we're doing this embossing thing. So we would just go back to the embossing ink pad. You'd go back to that little spot there that I'm just rubbing it onto that little gap. Yes, Sarah is saying it's strange we always emboss on white and not colored card. Well, it's just, I think, it's one of those things that just we do. White card is just what we have, I think, also in our stash the most of. And it's like when I first learned to stamp, we used black. And we stamped everything in black and colored it in. Well, my latest thing is I absolutely love stamping in different colors. The VersaFine clear inks are just beautiful. And it makes such a difference when you stamp in another color. And at the beginning, that was something that never even occurred to me. Right, so it's as easy as that. So there we have black cardstock, white cardstock with exactly the same finish. It's almost impossible to tell looking at them which one is which unless you turn them over. So there you go. That's tonight's trick, if you want to call it that. But now I have a very dusty desk, so I'm just going to get my baby wipe out and clean everything quickly. Gold embossing powder on black card is much more gold than embossed on white. Yes, it does seem, if I didn't know which was which, the black is somehow richer than the white. You're quite right. It just seems to give the powder just a little bit more depth. It is supposed to be opaque. You do get clear or translucent embossing powders, but these ones are opaque. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, sorry, I bumped my mouse. Kicked myself out of the studio. Minor heart attack. Thankfully, my phone, which is the important one that you guys are watching, is still there. Now, what's my screen done? Come on. Okay. Panic over. Right. Clean desk. Always a good thing. Now we can play with the characters. So I have these cream. Just make sure that's dry. It's quite dry. Yes. So Cheryl, you're quite right. That's what I was saying. Hello, Jan. Unless your embossing powder is transparent or translucent, you can't see the color of the paper. So yeah, quite right. Yes, thank goodness I'm still with us. It's just I went off my screen, which is a little bit panic mechanic. Right, so check which way the card opens. And let's have a look. So now I have a whole lot of these happy birthdays. I probably won't go with olive because it doesn't really go with my color scheme, but I wanted to show you the full set. And so I have got these cut out. If you scroll up, the link for both of these dies is in the chat. And what I have also done for tonight is I have cut out intentionally in... What is going on? My phone lost connectivity. Am I still here? Yes. Oh, good grief. I didn't even touch that. Okay, I'm here. So I have intentionally cut these from thick 300 GSM cardstock so that I can actually make a stencil. So I can also use what I have cut out as masks. But at the moment, what I want is the stencil because I want to have, let's start with Mr. Elephant. Mr. Elephant down at the bottom. And I can either go, so both the terracotta and the blue go nicely with the color scheme that I have chosen. Yes, I don't know what happened there, Cheryl. Everything's just determined to give me heart failure tonight. And I can layer that up on the black like that. So either that one looks great. Let's just have the whole card on the screen. Or the terracotta looks great. So both look great with the colors that I have colored my characters in. But what I want to do is create a sort of jungle feeling behind here. And so I can put the die cuts on. Let's use a different die cut. Let's find the one. There we go. So this die cut can come in there. And we can have, I like things in odd numbers, but I'm going to be stenciling. So we can have bits and pieces coming in. So the idea is that I want to pick up this color now in the background, and I'm going to take these off. And I'm going to use this as a stencil. And I'm going to build some layers. So I'm going to use tea dye, which is what I used to color my characters with, and the nice funky fossil brush. And I'm going to just stencil through the cardstock because I don't have the stencil with the leaves. I'm sure there is a stencil with leaves. Yes, Carol, and the blue really pops and it's really awesome. Now let's just check and see what we've got. I can have a little bit more color in the middle. That's great. So what I'm going to do is just build some layers up near the top as well. I know you won't see a lot of this because we'll have the happy birthday over the top, but I really like to have things that relate to each other. So the reason I'm using the leaf as a stencil is so that it is the same as it's the Berlin internet. Do I need to put some euros in the meters? Quite possibly. I'll go and speak to family members and see if they can give me some bandwidth. Although it isn't usually a problem. Usually, I mean, my husband works from home. My mom's always online. My son is gaming, so we're usually okay. But who knows? All right, so we have Let's have a few more layers down here. Let's have this one coming in from this side, and then I can overlap. Okay, that's 4. Let's have this. We've got spiky, we've got the round one, we've got this one. Let's just repeat this one. Maybe coming up from the bottom. Why not? Because Mr. Elephant is going to be sitting round about there. So yes, we can have that coming up from the bottom. And there we go. Right, so if I have Mr. Elephant there, and we have the happy birthday there, let's go with the blue. We now have lots of blue. So we go with the blue up there, Mr. Elephant down there. And now let's just see. I know it's not what I had before, but and where's the spiky one? Oh, I need to swap these because I've got spiky and round. That works. Yes. So it'll come. And it can go underneath. It doesn't have to just sit outside of it. So it can go underneath like so. Okie dokie. This one I feel like it needs a bit of color, so I'm just going to grab. No, not my oxides. I want probably some pine needles. And for this technique, I prefer to use the applicator tool. So there we go. I like that. Yes, that works. And we need a fifth one coming in from somewhere. So let's just give it some ink and then I'll decide where I'm going to stick it. Yes, tea dye is a lovely neutral color. And so I have the pencils. I have the watercolor pencils by Tim. And that's what I use a lot to color with. So I'm going to, so this is the glue press by My Sweet Petunia, and it has the Nouveau glue in it. Just going to test off screen. Yes, it is working. I did test before I went live, but that doesn't mean it hasn't done a nasty while I was doing other things, but usually this stays really nice and active. Okie dokie. So I'm going to have that one going off the edge like so. And this one here. Yes, it's a very handy applicator. It has a little stand which you can't see off screen, and you just drop it in while you're working like so, and it's really brilliant. It's been a total game changer for me. And with these tiny little things, it's got a metal nozzle that comes with this one, and you just swap out when this glue runs out, you just swap out unscrew that and swap it out. So I'm really pleased with that. Okay, so we're gonna have that there. So especially for something like this one, which has so many fiddly bits, it's just makes life so much easier. And I don't need to go right to the top. I don't want to land up gluing it to my desk. But I want this one coming behind the happy birthday. In fact, why don't I stick the happy birthday next, because that's driving me delally. And I'll stick Mr. Ellie. Now you could put Mr. Ellie on pop dots or foam tape or whatever. That would be great, but I quite often actually post my cards, so I don't like the dimension. Although square cards, if you post them, are more expensive, so just be aware of that. And we are off the bottom of the screen. There we go. It's back in stock in the UK. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, these applicator tools have been so incredibly popular. The shops have really struggled to keep them in stock. So they are a little pricey, but believe you me, they are worth every penny. I feel like sending one to our Sarah so that she doesn't have glue issues, because last week she was trying to do a card with things hanging off the edge like this one, and she couldn't glue it down because her glue had blocked. So there you go. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to grab a piece of roller towel, paper towel, kitchen towel, whatever you want to call it. I'm just making sure that that is in the middle there, and it's all done and crafted. Okay. Sarah will message you. Sarah the sleuth. Sarah Sleuth. She's brilliant at finding things. Okay, so the reason I'm using the paper towel is just to, even though it's such a fine applicator, there is sometimes still glue ooze. And the glue dries clear, so it's not a problem. Right, so now I have my happy birthday. I keep going off the bottom of the screen. But anyway, it's there. And then I'm going to have that there. So I really only need glue up to them. And that one. And I was going to have this one coming in at a jaunty angle because I can. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3. Oh, Caroline thinks she's found it. So now, and in fact, this would look really great on pop dots, but I'm sticking it flat. Ta-da! Yes, it does dry clear. Nuvo does dry clear. In fact, you can't see, there was lots of little bits of ooze and it's gone, completely gone. Can't see it at all. So now we pop it over and we snippety snip the excess off. There we go. As I say, I don't know how many cards I think I'm going to get done. I've only got 20 minutes left. The next one better be a Speedy Gonzalez card. I had grand aspirations of making 4 cards tonight. Yes, well. There we go. Ta-da! I really like that one. Okay, let's get rid of all the mess and chaos that I've just caused here. There's some head trimming going on. All the trimmings. There we go. So, we have one card finished. There we go. Push back and clear. I really should get that out of the funky fossil logo. Let's tidy up the desk. Tidy up, pack. There we go. Ha, that's breathing room. Yes. Now, what I would normally do is just darken the edges, and I'm going to use my green for that. So, just to link everything up, I'm going to go around the edge with the green. It just somehow frames it. And finishes it off. I could have used the tea dye, I could have gone with black, I could have gone with a darker color, but I just like the green this time round. There. Next. So we have another card blank. Let's just make sure it opens the right way. There we go, because I'm famous for gluing things upside down while live. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is just prep this one with the green because it needs some other color. I am an inker, so I like to ink things with another color, which I am not very good at with the brush for this particular technique. So the brush I absolutely love for stencil work and so on. That's really, really brilliant, especially if you have a hyper detailed stencil. There's nothing like those brushes to get into all the details. But for this, me and a brush, I don't know, I have not managed to get that to work. So there we go. I see what a difference the ink does. It just makes it pop. Now I want to have, so this is a repeat. So now I want to have this as a shadow underneath, and I'm going to offset it to the right, like so-ish. This is my plan, my grand plan, and I'm not, somehow that's not quite right. Let's find where my repeat is. There. Is that right now? Yes, that's what I'm looking for. So I want a drop shadow is what I'm looking for. Ish. There we go. Ish. And I need a new character. Now when I cut this one, I just snipped along there and along there, because when you glue, you can just join them up. And the giraffe works really well from down here. And let's have the terracotta happy birthday. I told you it'd be a quick card. I didn't expect it to be quite this quick. But I have another trick up my sleeve, because what I want to do is I have die cut some circles. So let me just show you. I have got my dies in sleeves in a folder, and the circle I have used is from the layered moon. And so you can see, so there's the one that celebrates. Happy birthday is actually called celebrate. That's what I was talking about earlier when I was saying, don't get confused by the fact that this one that I'm using tonight is called celebrate, because there is a stencil, die that says celebrate. Anyway, I digress. So I wanted to just show you that there is this circle, and I think it works really well behind. Let me use one that's not covered. If I'm wanting to make, oh, come now, do not lace yourself in there. So I think this circle would work really well just behind there to accent the background area. So again, I'm going to use tea dye, and I'm going to use my applicator tool, which I seem to have lost. There it is. It's so big I can't see it. It's even labeled. Okay, so I'm going to darken the edge. Like an African sunset. Hi, Dieter. Yes, great for Father's Day. So we could put, yes, Father's Day is on Sunday. Maybe I shouldn't put happy birthday. Maybe I should just leave it and it could be Father's Day. So I'm just making this. Oh, and this is dying on me. Serves me right. Not using brushes. It is 100 years old, that particular one. It came with me from South Africa, so it's a good 6 or 7 years old. Time to refresh. Yes, that wreath is so useful. It could be used for so many things, and that's why. So Christmas stuff will start coming out now, June, July. I know when Sarah's back, and before she left, she showed the beautiful papers last week, and this with some red berries. In fact, I digress. She says going down a rabbit hole in her head. There's a scratch behind me over here. So Sarah has these wonderful embellishments. So these came out last Christmas, and those would look absolutely fabulous on there as berries, wouldn't they just? So all the these gold and shiny ones. So yes, they would be June 25th. Yes, I think is the Christmas launch. I don't have the dates in my head, but yes. Okay, so my idea is that I'm going to slide this behind there just to set it off so that it's not cream on cream on cream, not all the, and that there like that. And then lastly, I'm going to grab my stencil with the spot. So I have the, it's a 2-layer stencil with the leopard things, but if you just use the bottom one, to me it looks like giraffe print. So what I want to do is I want to have giraffe print around the outside of this one. So that is going to be my centerpiece. And I'm going to, let's have funky fossil at the top. I'm going to just work it at the edge like so. And I will use tea dye again. Yes, the funky fossil enamel dots are really great. I use them for so many things. So what I'm trying to do is have darker spots, for want of a better description, around the edge. Because we're covering most of the middle, I'm going to let those fade. And I'm going to line it up with this edge. And do this side. Yes, so when I designed these characters, I designed it with men cards in mind because I know that we all struggle for men. So you'll notice, in fact, every single one of my characters on this set for the safari are all men. And I'm going to just go down into that corner here at the bottom. So I'm kind of making this up because the stencil is smaller than the 6x6 card that I have, and I know I've got stuff coming here, but it doesn't matter. I'm just winging it. That should be okay. Maybe I need to move there. And let's not do that one. We will do that one. There we go. So now I have spots all the way around. You could cut a safari jeep from your Cricut and use the animals around it for a cute scene. There are so many ways to use these characters. You're so right, Dieter. They really, really are. So now what I need to do is work out where my sun is going to be. Let's stick the happy birthday because that we have is guaranteed. So let me mine this out the way. Close that. Glue this. So I just find, yeah, these characters can be used for so many different things. Birthdays, Christmas. If you color them in red and green, they look fabulous for Christmas. So watch the space. Of course, you know what's coming. Sorry, gluing and talking. Apparently, I can't do both when it's so fine. Glue. Right, let's get this sorted out there. Okay, I've just had my piece of paper towel. So you can see, I'll hold it up. There is a little bit of glue ooze, but what I do is squish it with the paper towel. And if I'm really bothered, like if there's a lot, I seem to have been a little bit too generous, but really when it dries, you don't see it at all. That's what I do like about this glue. And there we go. And while I've got this out, I'm going to do the green edge. Quite often what I do is I will do a set of cards. I really did think I would get through 4 cards tonight. Dream on, girl, dream on. So I like to do a set and then give them as gifts. So I will do a set of cards and then put them in with their envelopes, put them in a little box and give them as a set to people, because a lot of people, I mean, cards, if you purchase cards these days, they are so expensive. And a lot of people really appreciate having that gift set. I'm just checking where this needs to be and where my giraffe needs to go. I mean, it would work just as well with any of them. I could put, let's pop that up. So then that would need to be slightly higher with Mr. Lion, or with Mr. Rhino. But then I would probably put Mr. Rhino behind here. Cam. Behave yourself, Mr. Rhino. Get underneath there. Yes, so I would hide him in the foliage. I would bring that down and I would put that further up. Maybe, there we go. So that's how I would do Mr. Rhino. Mr. Rhinosaurus. I think I'm going to go with the lion. So we're going with the lion. And yeah, I like that. So, oh, thanks, Jan. Yes, yes, Dieter, just, or die. Is it Dieta? I'm reading it as Dieter, Dieta. Sorry, I'm dyslexic, so I've been probably mispronouncing your name the whole evening. I think I'm going to go with the lion. And so let's lift that up. And I'm going to go with the big glue, just because what I want to do is get underneath there with, I don't want to move where it was. It's just easier with that one. And then with this one, I quite like the way it's just gone kind of wonky. And I'm going to put glue here and there. I'm just making sure that I also get glue on the front layer in places. Right. And then I'm just going to stick that down. Because I had that up here like that. There we go. Or something. Where's my lion? And the happy birthday. There we go. That works. Yes. So now we can squishity squish. Dieta. Dieta. Oh, no. Thanks for the phonetics that I can do. Dieta. Now I know for next time. Louise, you can almost hear the lion's voice. Hear him roar. Okay, so now, and the nice thing is, I mean, this was cut on my brother, Scan and Cut. When I do designs, I am a very lazy, fussy cutter. And so I always make sure, that's why there's a line across the bottom, so that I don't have to hand cut. Now, I mean, I put the spots because I was putting the giraffe, but it works just as well for this. So I'm a typical crafter, same as you guys. Do something on purpose for something and then change my mind and go in a completely different tangent. But hey, it works. Whoops! My thumb got in the way there. So let's just grab that blob of glue and move that down. There we go. So, and I'm going to pop it there. So there we have 2 cards done in an hour. Here we go. Thank you for spending your evening with me and coming to find me over on YouTube because, well, somehow I didn't manage to get the Facebook link working, but there we have it. So it was the lovely new wow powders on the die, and yes, that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed that with me, and see you next week. Bye for now.